Tiny Raccoon Girl's tutorial on how to make this wall design for free. Here is the proof. First, take the free rug and place it on your wall. I'm adjusting mine to fit and making it pink. Then, take the basic wardrobe and make it smaller. I'm coloring mine a darker pink. Then I stack them using advanced move and cloning them to make stripes. Once your wall looks similar to mine, find the free trash can and adjust it so the bottom part is facing away from the wall. I'm making mine white. Then I push it into the wall and move it to the top. Here, I am just cloning and adjusting to get the wall trim I want. After you finish, select all of the trash cans and clone them. Push them behind the original ones and move them downward, in making mine a darker pink than the stripes. For the sprinkles, select the basic desk and size it down, then place them however you want over each trash can. I'm coloring mine purple, blue, and orange. Then I used advanced rotate, so they're not in a straight line. Once I get the placement I like, I clone them and move them to all of the other trash cans. Here I am adjusting. Lastly, clone a basic wardrobe and rotate it so it's horizontal. I will clone and stack these to make the bottom trim of the wall. I am also making these the same pink as the trash can. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial.
Tutorial on these music dot notes. First, search up ropes and choose the ones which are curved. I prefer the medium one. Then duplicate the rope, rotate it upside down and place it on both sides of the medium one. Now clone it until there's 4 of them. Search up beams and kind of just use this to make the shape of the note. Is kind of hard to explain, so just follow what I do. Now search up disc and place it in the edge of the beams. Color it and place it on the lines. To make the other note, select only the beam and disc at the most side and clone it. Search up arrow, and this part is also kind of hard to explain, so just follow what I do. Basically just clone it 5 times and adjust it like a star. After done, place it on the walls. Now just clone the notes and stars until you fill up the lines. And we're done.
Here's how to make this Sugar Bunny's wall art. It will cost you $390. And for this build, you will need to look in the lower left corner of your screen for your placement grid size and change it to small or medium for most of this build. So first, you're going to search up disc and place it on the wall, and then just use advanced move to push it in the wall a little more. And then you're going to clone it a bunch of times and move it over just a little bit so that you get the oval shape. And then turn on X-ray mode if you need to, and select the whole thing and clone it. Make it smaller and white and move it out a little bit so the outline shows. And then for the ears, I start off with discs as well, make them a lot smaller. And then I also use bricks for the ears, just make it a lot smaller and line it up with the first disc that you placed. And then try to select the disc at the top and clone it and adjust it so it lines up with the brick for the bottom part. And then turn on X-ray mode so you can select the whole ear and then clone it, make it smaller and white. And for this part, I had to redo it because the outline around the ear wasn't showing enough. So you may have to try again a few times until you get it to look the way you like. So here I'm just adjusting it so that all of the shapes that I used are all lined up, and I selected the top disc that I used for the ear and pushed it down a little bit so that it looks more lined up with the rest of the ear. So I turned on X-ray mode so that it would be easier to clone this ear, and then I deleted the brown outline of the ear and made it a lot smaller and pink, and this is going to be the inside of the ear. So since it's not really lining up correctly, I had to select the entire face and just move it up just a little bit, and then I clone the ear again and use advanced rotate to turn it around, and then you have to adjust the top discs like this, just move them around so that they are facing more the other direction so that it lines up with the other side of the face. and then just adjust the discs and all the shapes as you need. Now I used bricks for the little fluff at the top of the sugar bunny's head. I used 4 bricks in total, 2 for the outline and 2 for the white part. So once you have the brown ones adjusted, clone them and make them smaller and white for the main part. And then I used a brown sphere. No, actually it's a brown disc for the body. I think I used 2 of them really close together to create an oval shape, and just keep adjusting it until it looks nice. And you may need to turn on X-ray mode so that you can better select it and clone it and make it smaller and white for the main part. And then I put a pink disc in the middle, and then I used more small brown discs for the little arms, and I put them really close together to create a more oval shape. And then I cloned the entire thing again and made it smaller and white for the main part, and then I selected the entire thing and moved it to the other side for the other arm, and then I just cloned them again and again for the legs. And you may need to go back and adjust them like I'm doing here, with selecting it with the X-ray tool and then adjusting it with advanced moving tools. And then I'm using 2 of these discs to create an oval shape for the little circle around the mouth. And then I used 2 discs and I made them really tiny for the nose. I made an oval shape with them again by putting them really close together. And then I used bricks for the mouth. I made them really tiny and just adjust them like I am here and line them up so that it looks like a little mouth. And then I'm using 2 discs again for the eyes. Just line them up on the face where you think it looks right. I used 2 together again for the oval shape, and then I cloned it for the other side too. And then I used more discs for the pink cheeks right here. And then more bricks, the same ones that I used for the mouth, I used for the eyelashes, and I just clone it for the other side too. Now for the bow, I used cat ear rugs, make them a lot smaller in pink. I made the outline of the rug a darker pink, and then clone it and flip it around so it looks like this. And then for the middle of the bow, I used a shape called a small bevel. And now it's all done. Thank you all so much for watching. Here's how to make this Hello Kitty rug. It will cost you 177 bucks. First search for a disc, and I used the large disc and make it light brown and put it into the floor with advanced move. Then select both of the discs and clone them and make them a little bit smaller and white. And then use arrows. I used the signal arrows for the ears. So just adjust them like I am here. Once you have the first one adjusted, you can clone it and move it to the other side. And then select the ears again and make them smaller and white, and then try to line them up like I did here for the white part of the ear, and do that for the other side too. Now search for a disc, and this part will be for the bow, so use a lot of discs for this, and this first part will be the outline of the bow, and then you'll clone it again and make it smaller and a lighter color for the main part of the bow. And I just cloned it for the other side and the middle too. Now Now search for a ring and put these on the sides of the bow right here for more details. Now make the eyes. I used 2 discs, just move one up a little bit and then select it. You might have to put on X-ray mode to be able to select the eye, and I also decided to change the color of the eyes a little bit. Now clone one more of the discs and make it a lot smaller and yellow for the nose. So here I decided to change the size of the eye, so I had to delete one, and then I selected the other one and cloned it and moved it to the other side. And now for the cheeks, you will also use discs too. And for the whiskers, I used rings, so just use advanced rotate to turn them on their side and then put them into the rug like this. And you will need to use advanced rotate and advanced move to adjust them like I am here. It's all done now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys! Here's how to make this kitty. It will cost you 286 bucks. For this build, you'll need to use the placement grid size a lot. Look in the lower left corner of your screen to change the placement grid size to small, medium, or large. For this, I used small grid size the most. First, I used a medium bevel cylinder for the main part of the body. And then I used medium spheres for the head, actually just one medium sphere, and then adjust it until it lines up how you like. And then I also used more spheres for the arms and the legs. And then I cloned the bevel cylinder that I used for the body and made it smaller and white. And here I used more medium spheres for the eyes. I used 2 for each eye and made one of them lighter color than the other one, just to give the eyes more details. Once you get these spheres adjusted how you like, select both of them and clone them for the other eye. You may have to adjust them even more on the other side too. And then I used small spheres for the shines in the eyes. I used 2 for each eye. And then I cloned the medium sphere that I used for the head and made it a lot smaller and white for this part of the mouth. And now use a small sphere for the nose. Now use arrows to make the ears. Use 2 arrows, clone one and make it smaller and pink. And then I cloned both of those arrows and used advanced rotate and advanced move to move it to the other side. Now I used beams to make the whiskers, so I just placed it on the wall and then used advanced move to bring it over here and advanced rotate just like this. And then I cloned it for the other side too. And then use a 4-leaf plant for the little hair at the top of the kitty's head. And now search for long grass and use this for the tail. You will need to use advanced move a lot for this, so just keep adjusting it until you're happy. It's all done now. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!
Tangled in love, stuck by you. Found the glue. Don't forget to kiss me, or else you'll have to miss me. I guess I'm stuck forever by the glue. Oh, and you.
Grab a sphere and size/color it. Grab a mushroom, resize it and color it brown. These will be the eyes. Now clone them and make it smaller and white. These are the pupils. Copy them to the other eye as well. I forgot to say I moved the body down into the ground. Grab 2 discs. Bigger one blue, smaller one brown for the nose. Grab a ring and color it brown, and raise and rotate to make the curved mouth. Duplicate on other side. Now select and move it onto the seal body. I forgot to show, but grab 2 tiny discs and make them pink for blush. Now grab 2 tiny spheres and make them the feet. Now duplicate and readjust and color how you want the second one to be. Add feet too. And you're done.
Tutorial on how I made the waffles at my house. First, you want to get a large disc and adjust it to however big you want it to be. Rotate it 90 degrees. Adjust its sizing so when you copy it, it's a thin line. Also have it a little bit higher than the disc.
Don't look at me like that, it weakens my heart. Your eyes, they turn and glitter, and I taste your pride.
Rotate it 90 degrees again and repeat the same steps.
Select everything and color it the same color.